it's actually the right boat to buy if you're gonna buy a boat for yourself. Hey guys, Nick Cardoza with Mr. Yachts. Back at you with another pretty important topic. 3 reasons why you need a yacht broker and a couple of things to look out for when you're shopping for your yacht broker. So shopping for a broker is like, it's its own mission in itself, right? It's really important to be able to connect with your broker. My goal as a broker, for example, I need to connect with the client so I understand your goals, your vision, so that, you know, it's not always about finding the cheapest boat. It's about finding the right fit for you, right? So, you know, to understand the mentality, it's like an actor that's like, you know, getting into character for the movie. Like when I shop with a client, I almost like am shopping for myself based on like the mission that we discussed. Like I put myself in my buyer's shoes, and then I go out and look for boats, right? Like, so I want to find the boat like how you want it. Like that's my goal. Like that's how I approach it. I think this is the right deal for this guy. It's not a huge boat. It's not like, you know, it's not a super yacht, but all I want to do is help the guy find the right boat. And then I combine that with like, you know, my industry knowledge, my relationships to like, not just find you the cheapest boat, but like the right fit, right? Because in a couple of years from now, I want you to still enjoy your boat. Like you might want to sell it because you get another boat because you're so happy with this boat, because I want to keep selling you boats and I want to sell your friends boats. So I would say like number 1, right? Why wouldn't you just want to Google the boat yourself and, you know, call the listing agent? I kind of make this crude analogy of like, you don't want to go to court without a lawyer, and you want a good doctor if you're gonna go get surgery, right? So you want a good broker to represent your side of the deal, because he's gonna help point out the things that the guy who's listing the boat is probably not gonna tell you or is gonna sugarcoat it, right? Let's just put this into like practical sense, right? You know, I used to sell wine in my dad's store. Like, hey, this bottle's really good, you know? Like, I'm not gonna tell you anything bad about the wine you wanna buy, right? Because you're probably not gonna buy it. So I say the same thing when you're shopping for boats. If you just go to the listing agent, you're probably just gonna hear, you know, they say there's 3 sides to every story. You're probably just gonna hear one side. That's number 1, why you need your own yacht broker to represent you in a deal, whether you're buying or selling the boat. The other reason you need a yacht broker, well, it's pretty hard to negotiate with somebody who you've tried to make friends with to get a better deal. Like, what does that mean? What am I talking about? Okay, so if you're trying to buy something and you don't have a broker representing you, that's gonna go to the negotiation table for you with 0 emotion, right? I've seen a lot of deals blow up in the past because the buyer wants to like, you know, try to make the deal himself, but then, you know, maybe he comes in too low and then, you know, the seller, you know, gets pissed off because like offended, like, are you crazy? Like, how can you offer me that, you know? And then the other guy gets offended and the whole thing just blows up, right? Well, when you have brokers as intermediaries, they kind of do that for you and they're buffers, right? So that's another reason why you want to have a broker like on your side to be the buffer intermediary between, you know, the deal to make sure everything runs smoothly, right? Another reason why you need a yacht broker is buying a boat's just not that easy.
Granted, it's a 2001, but you're really getting a deal because if you think about the depreciation curve, the replacement value of a similar boat like this could be upwards of $7 million.
Right? Like people buy a car, it's super easy to buy a house. A lot of that stuff is like boilerplate and like very simple to do. I mean, I'm not saying that all deals are easy to do outside of boats, but when you get into yachting, there's a lot of different things there's a lot of variables that you probably haven't considered, right? Like what country to flag the boat in. We could do a whole other video on where to flag your boat and the taxes and all that stuff, but you know, the title transfer, and if the guy, if the seller, you know, has a note on the boat, and maybe it's in another country. For example, I'm doing a deal right now where, you know, the payoff is in France, but they've got anti-money laundering laws. You know, that there's just a lot of steps that I'm like, there's no way somebody could just do this. Like, there's no way. You'd either lose patience or you'd fuck up the deal somehow, and you know, and probably get sued or something, because there's just so many moving parts. I mean, most deals, I'd say, like, I'd even recommend a maritime attorney to like handle some of the moving parts. There's just so much going on in boats that it's just not that simple, like, oh, I'm just gonna go buy that boat. maybe in the smaller boats, like you're buying a center console off of Craigslist. I mean, even then I'd have somebody looking after you, right? Because, you know, obviously you also need a surveyor, right? There's a lot of things you need when you're buying and selling a boat. It's one of these things that I come across a lot. Like sometimes people try to like buy boats on their own, and like, look, more power to you. If you can find that great deal and you really know boats that well that you're like, hey, I don't need a broker, I can do my own deals. Obviously you've been in the business for a while, you know, to a certain extent, but I see a lot of newcomers to yachting that, like, you know, saw their friend do that, but like, unless you know how to like navigate the business, I don't recommend it. I really think you're better off having a broker involved. All right, guys, so that wraps up my thought of the day of who are these yacht brokers and why do you need one? Just my thoughts. So please leave your comments below. Don't forget to like if you like it. If you don't like it, tell me why. And please subscribe. It really helps the channel and we want to grow it. So thanks for watching and see you in the next video.